Hello and welcome back to This Week in Biotech. Today is February 6th, 2026, and I'm covering biotech and pharma news from January 30th to February 5th, 2026, and it is edition number 88 on Substack. Hims & Hers announced yesterday that the company will offer a compounded semaglutide pill for weight loss at just $49 a month for the first month and then $99 a month after that on a 5-month plan. So this comes just a month after Novo Nordisk launched oral Wegovy pill in the United States on January 5th, 2026 at $149 for first-time users and $199 after that. And this one announcement instantly revived the price war narrative around GLP-1s. Novo Nordisk called it an illegal mass compounding and promised legal and regulatory action. And shortly after, FDA Commissioner Marty Makary signaled the agency intends to move against companies mass marketing illegal copycat drugs that imply they're equivalent to FDA-approved medicines. The market reaction was quick. Novo dropped about 8%, Eli Lilly about 6%, and even Hims reversed after the commissioner's comments, about 10% down. I think what really matters here is I think people will definitely buy it. I mean, it's almost like subscription prices, but what really matters here is what the regulators do and what lawsuits show up. If regulators let this stand, every future obesity pill or drug becomes a price war on day one. But if they don't, this pressure doesn't go away. I think it just moves to next loophole. This is just a very lucrative and competitive market at the moment. Eli Lilly, like I said, also dropped about 6% on these news, but the company and many other companies reported their Q4 earnings for last year and their plans for 2026 this week. Eli Lilly had its best day in 9 months after beating Q4 expectations and guiding strongly for 2026. Management also highlighted what could be a demand catalyst, a $50 per month Medicare copay for obesity drugs as early as July 1st. Lilly also emphasized growth in its direct-to-patient channel called Lilly Direct and said that Zepbound vials are becoming a real entry point for self-pay patients, representing about 1/3 of new patient starts. Here's a nuance. So Lilly openly acknowledged pricing headwinds in 2026. Their pitch was that volume expansion and smoother access can offset this hit that they're expecting. So investors are basically being asked to believe that Eli Lilly can grow fast enough to keep earnings rising even when the prices get negotiated down. So, the company is doing well, but this is definitely a different investment case than the one that people were buying into about a year ago. And this is in contrast with Novo Nordisk. Novo guided sales and operating profit down 5 to 13% for this year. The issue is not that people stopped wanting these drugs. The issue is United States net pricing, where competition, discounting, and compounded semaglutides, as mentioned earlier, are tightening the economics into a real price fight. Next is CVS Health. It's using its commercial formularies to force the next biosimilar wave. Starting April 1st, it plans to prefer denosumab biosimilars over Amgen's Prolia and prefer teriparatide generics over Eli Lilly's Forteo. CVS frames this as more than 50% lower cost per prescription and a continuation of the pharmacy benefit manager playbook that already moved most Humira users onto biosimilars. Novartis is bracing for major patent cliff and expects roughly $4 billion of generic-driven sales erosion in 2026. The company guided to low single-digit sales growth, but a low single-digit decline in core operating profit. It also flagged that Entresto was already pressured in Q4 by United States generics and high revenue deductions. Biotech cleared a key step on Entyvio biosimilar for inflammatory bowel disease. Its pivotal pharmacokinetics study for AVT80, a subcutaneous vedolizumab candidate, hit primary endpoints in healthy volunteers. This supports planned filings for both its subcutaneous and intravenous versions of a biosimilar to Takeda's Entyvio, franchise used in ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. If you're watching biosimilars, pharmacokinetics similarity is one of those gating items that produces uncertainty. It obviously doesn't guarantee commercial success, but it keeps the program moving. And finally, I have one clinical update. This week, Ultragenyx shared long-term data for UX111 in Sanfilippo syndrome type A, showing durable biomarker suppression and sustained separation from natural history. Cerebrospinal fluid heparan sulfate dropped meaningfully and stayed down, and earlier treated children showed a notable cognitive benefit versus comparators with supportive communication and motor trends. Safety remained consistent, and with a complete response letter in July 2025 and a late January resubmission, this sets up a potential Q3 2026 decision if timelines hold. So this is everything for this week. Thanks so much for being here, for reading and listening to Biotech Blueprint. And just a reminder, make sure to follow me or connect with me on LinkedIn and check out our new website, which is biotechblueprintconsulting.com. I'll see you next week and have a good weekend.